Mic check, 1, 2. All right, we'd like to welcome everyone watching to the 4th Annual Alabama Christian Sports Conference Football Media Day. I'm Scott Stafford, and I will be your producer for today's event, which is coming to you again this year from the Evangel Sports Complex in Montevallo. In a moment, I'll be handing the mic over to ACSC Commissioner Mike Long, and he will open today's event with remarks on the state of the conference. But first, I'd like to open us with a word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for another opportunity to engage in this homeschool community and play another season of football. Lord, we just pray for protection for all of our players this year and just a spirit of community and good sportsmanship as we go throughout the season. Lord, I just pray now that everything that we say and do today would be glorifying to you, and I ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen. So let's talk about today's format a little bit. We have 5 schools participating in 8-man football this season again. Each school is represented here today by their head coach and 2 players. We'll ask them a few questions about the team and the upcoming season. I'd also like to mention our sponsors for this year's event. Daisy Lee Photography, who's here today taking some photos for us, and South Oak Title in Pelham. South Oak Title in Pelham. So please consider them if you need their products or services. And so without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Long.
I hope everyone's excited about this start of a new school year and a new sports year for us. So this is our, I don't know how many times we've had this. I think we've gone on, maybe 3 years now or 4 years with our media days. And we're getting a bigger audience, not only just in the local area, but even outside this area as the ACSC is becoming more prominent and as a sports conference that is recognized, like I said, that's widespread. This year we're really excited. I think we've got more teams this year in football that are strong. I think every team on any given night, I think what we're going to see this year is that, a mishandled ball, a turnover, a missed pass, an errant pass or a catch or something is going to make the difference in a ball game. That's how strong the ACSC is in football. We are known nationally. The ACSC always puts a good product out on the field, and I know I'm excited to watch this year because I think we're going to be walking in those gates and everything to watch a football game that we really don't know who's going to come out on top. I said it's going to be exciting. So I think our coaches are ready. From what I'm hearing, the players are excited. I think they're tired of hitting each other, so I think they're ready to hit someone else on another team. So we're excited about the season. The ACSC has been around since 2007. We actually started as a football program with a few schools getting together, a few programs getting together and starting. And then it went more toward basketball and others. We brought it back several years ago, and now quickly has risen to be our biggest sport by far, involving a lot of student athletes throughout the state of Alabama. So we're excited. The conference itself is strong in all sports. We have pretty much all sports. We're kicking off this fall with our volleyball, cross country, football, but also bass fishing. And this year, for the first time, we just are getting ready to announce that the ACSC down in New Bern, Alabama, is going to have a rodeo, an ACSC rodeo, and we're actually excited about that. So we are trying to involve, if a kid, whether he's homeschool or in a private school that doesn't have the sports that they play, we're trying to get those kids involved in enjoying the sports that they love. And so we're very open to ideas about new sports coming into our conference. And so I know you don't want to hear a whole lot about what I have to say. I think you're ready to hear from coaches and these players And so we're going to move on, and we have Lighthouse being our first up, and they're going to come up at this time, and I know you're going to want to hear what they have to say.
All right, Coach J.J. Duarte, thank y'all for joining us today. Coach J.J., a bit of a rebuilding season last year after a 10-win season and conference runners-up showing in 2023. What gives you the most hope about seeing the team take steps forward in 2025?
I'm super excited about our leadership this year. Last year was a tough season. We started a lot of young guys, and not just young guys, but a lot of guys that were stepping into the role of playing time and as starters that didn't have the experience. So I think having that experience come back this year is going to be a big help, and just our morale and our mentality that we have right now as we're entering fall camp is very good right now. So I'm excited about the leadership and just our mindset, and we've got a lot of guys that have remembered last year and don't want to repeat the same thing again. So I'm excited and look forward to this year.
Yeah, as you said, you had a lot of young guys get some experience last year, maybe out of necessity more so than you'd like. But sometimes, especially when they have some negative outcomes in the final score, that can be a challenge to their confidence. How did you navigate that last year, and how do you think those younger guys responded?
Well, we've talked a lot about adversity, and we faced a lot of adversity last year. Had some injuries, again, the young guys, and so just to keep their head high, and when you love the game of football, you love it. Yes, everybody wants to win. I think you ask any player in here, any coach, the objective is to win. But when you love the game and you're willing to work hard and the brotherhood, you just keep going out there and fighting every day. And I think we did that last year. We kept fighting. It didn't always show on the scoreboard. But going into this year, I think that fight there's a different kind of fight within us this year. And a one-win season is not going to cut it for these guys, and they're not going to have it this year. So just being able to push through that and encourage each other and build each other up, and learn from our mistakes and learn from the past and move forward, and that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely. According to Max Preps, you have 37 players on the roster, pretty good number, but it looked like only about half of those guys are sophomore and older, right? So are there any of those underclassmen that you expect to be big contributors this year?
Yeah, so we've got a group of 9th, 10th graders. Joe Beeson is actually probably going to be our starting quarterback this year as a 10th grader. We've got another Jaden Cosper, which is a 10th grader. They're both 15. They'll be stepping into some major roles. Micah King is another one that's going to be able to step in and help on offense and defense. So we've got a lot of young guys that are going to be stepping in, especially some skill positions. Got a few young linemen. Got a 10th grade Jaden Duke. That'll be a big help for us on the line. And then we also got an 8th grader that'll be getting multiple reps as an offensive lineman as well, and D-line.
Nice. So of those guys, are any of those guys newcomers to the roster, or do you have any newcomers you'd like to call out?
Those are not any newcomers. We do have a few this year in our upperclassmen. We got a Corey Williams. He'll be a senior this year. That's joined the squad. I think he'll be able to help us a little bit on the offensive line. We've got a group of brothers, some Hicksons that have joined. Their older brothers played in our first few years, so it's excited to see the family come back around. So I think they'll be able to contribute in a few different areas. So a few more other guys that we're hoping that have never played football before, that we're hoping to get ready and step into positions too.
And looking at last year to this year, those guys that got a lot of experience, or is there anybody that really stands out that maybe took some really big strides from last year to this year that that you see that translating to them getting more playing time on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think about we've got Charlie and Henry, the Smith boys. They're twins. Really excited to see them. They've really grown up and stepped into some leadership, moved into positions, as well as the ones I just mentioned. All those guys were, playing JV last year and getting a few reps on varsity. These two guys beside me right here, which you'll hear from in a minute, these guys have really stepped in and took ownership. So I'm really excited to see these guys move into these roles. Jace Mitchell is one of those two that last year really stepped into a starting position, kind of threw to the fire as a 10th grader. Now he's a junior, and so we're excited to see him as well.
Nice. And, just talking about the Lighthouse football program in general, how would you define your team's core values, and how do you go about instilling those qualities and characteristics in your players?
Yeah, well, the first thing, we want to glorify God in everything that we do. Yes, we're a football program, but, you can ask any of our families, we always say that we're a ministry first. And we love sports, we love football, and it's a wonderful tool to share the gospel and teach life lessons. So that's kind of our what we stand on in our foundation. We really took on two little mottos this year, and one of them is I choose Lighthouse. Especially now with some of the rules and being able to play at public schools. We want kids that want to be at Lighthouse. We want kids that are committed to Lighthouse. We don't want in and out. We want commitment. And so we really tried to get our kids and our families, and they have to buy into I choose Lighthouse. You can choose to be anywhere else, but you've chosen to be here, and that's the kind of commitment level that we want. And then we've also adopted, kind of this season is that it's our season, but it's my responsibility. And so we want to put, accountability on each person. That it's not about them, but it's about the team, but it's also about what they contribute and what they do. And so kind of, we're only as strong as our weakest link, and so we want a bunch of strong links.
Mm-hmm. Very good. James, you have anything?
How's it going, Coach?
What's up, James?
Hey, I got a couple questions for you. First off, obviously you've been coaching for several years, but for you as a coach, what is one goal that you have that you still have not been able to accomplish? Obviously, it's a team sport, but for you personally, is there a goal that you've set that you still haven't accomplished that you still want to get to?
I want to win an ACSC championship. We've been in the conference, started talking to the conference since we started this program. We've been in multiple championship games, but we've yet to pull one out. And so I would really love to do that and see that as not just a goal for me, but as our program and these guys. And just as we continue as a program and see just how the Lord has blessed it and just the history that we're building. Now, going into the 13th year, you can start to talk about some history and not just, for the guys that are playing now, but for the legacy of Lighthouse. So I think that's a big goal for us.
Fair enough. Off the field, who has been the biggest influence in your coaching career?
Off the field.
Not a coach.
Not a coach. I would say my pastor, Jack DeCanter. He's been a huge mentor, a friend to me. He's kind of the guy that I can go to, especially, again, we look at this as a ministry. And, as any of these coaches can attest to, it's not just it's also a spiritual battle at times. So that would be one. And then and outside of that, my entire coaching staff, a lot of, people don't know that, I just call them just to vent sometimes to get their ear. Jason Smith, Dakota Duarte, Damian Zavala, Chris Todd, Matthew Lewis, and Blaine Beard, I call them all the time and just throughout the day multiple times and just, talk life, so.
Thank you so much, Coach. Now we're going to turn it over to the players to answer a few questions for us. So start with Eli Brunson. A little icebreaker question here. What's your favorite pregame meal? Yeah, pull that all the way to you. Hang on. Now you're good. Speak up a little bit. Yeah, start over, please.
Start the day off with carbs, lots of protein. Sorry, then breakfast sandwich, whatever. Then moving on, just get a little bit lighter. I really like right before a game, like a few hours, maybe 2, just a nice grilled cheese and like a little bowl of chili.
Cool. I'm going to ask y'all to take those mics out of the stands so you can hold them and put them closer to you. There you go. And Coach JJ said you've put on 20 pounds since last season, speaking of eating there. Would you mind sharing your secret?
Not much of a secret, just we used to have leftovers in the fridge, don't anymore.
Good answer. And you started every game at center for the Warriors last year, I believe.
Yes.
What part of your game are you focusing on the most going into this season?
It's kind of 2 aspects. Oh, sorry. Yeah, kind of 2 aspects, like physical and mental. I think physically, go for more speed, just some more getting there faster and going a bit more intense the whole game. And then mentally, just trying to know the plays, make sure everybody knows what they're doing, getting good calls.
Yeah. And what is it about this 2025 team that makes you think you guys are going to put a few more W's in the win or games in the win column this year?
I think we have a lot more drive this year. Like everybody that's out there that I got beside me, they've all put in the work. They're all bought into the team, and those are the guys who want me going to the battle on Friday night. Cool.
And what's your favorite thing about playing for Lighthouse? Is there a specific tradition that y'all have or anything like that?
I think football camp's a big thing for me. It's tough, but I mean, it's what makes me it's what makes us who we are. It's tough. It's like builds character,
Yeah, I've seen some of those posts on social media. It looks like you guys are getting after it out there.
Sure.
All right, James, you got any questions?
Hey, buddy. Don't mean to put you on the spot sitting beside your head coach, but Scott just talked about the posts that you guys have made during camp and everything. If you could get rid of one conditioning drill or exercise, if you could get rid of just one, never have to do it again, which one are you picking? What's the one when he says you're doing it, you're like, obviously all of them are tough, but everybody has one. For instance, I hated bear crawl. Absolutely hate bear crawl.
Probably just like, hill sprints.
Yeah.
Probably hill sprints, yeah.
Fair enough.
Especially run. It's all tough, but
yeah. But that's like the one. Yeah, I got you.
All right, anything else?
Good.
All right, Levi, so a lot of players like to listen to music to get hyped before games. What song gets you most pumped up before a game, and why?
Well, I'm not a very big music person. I don't really listen to music to get me pumped up, but there is one song. It is I forget what it's called, but I mean I like to just meditate before games.
Okay.
Not really listen to music. Yeah. But there is one song. It's called "Ball on 'Em," and it was in one of our videos that we did on Instagram, and it's pretty fun. It's a pretty good song that gets me pretty hyped up. It got me hyped up. Whenever I started listening to it, getting just watching it, me getting ready for this season, it got me pretty hyped up. But I like to just kind of get in my own headspace and just lock in, get ready.
Yeah.
I'm not a very big getting hyped over music, but
okay.
So yeah.
That's good enough. So there's been a lot of great players come through Lighthouse in your time, like Elliott Knowles and Clay Boatman and others. Are there any former Lighthouse players that you try to emulate your leadership style, and why?
My oldest brother Isaac Aycock. He was one of the guys that I look up to the most. Just because he's my brother, but not just because he's my brother. He pushed a lot of the younger guys whenever I started out playing my first year. Not only me, but everyone else that was in the younger class.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I try to influence and do that he did. Is just encourage all the younger guys that are on the team that maybe aren't in the positions they want to be or aren't in the spots that they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wasn't in that spot where I wanted to be whenever I was, 12 or 11 starting off. So I just take what he did for me and all the younger guys and that my first year that he
Mhm.
started out, and just try to push them and let them go to their next limits. But there's a story that I wanted to bring up. We were doing it sucked, but it was Soul Train,
Mhm.
and we were doing it, and I was in the back, so I waited forever to where we got to. I don't know if you know Soul Train, but it's the guy in the back runs all the way to the front of the line, and then it keeps going until the last person goes to the front of the line. So we were doing that, and it sucked because I was in the back line. Most of the guys were pretty athletic, so they were all running pretty fast. I wasn't athletic whenever I was like 12, so I got to the point where it was my turn, and I was running up, trying to get past them, and I just everyone was running, and I couldn't make it past. And I just remember Isaac, my oldest brother, he came back and picked me up, carried me to the front of the line.
Wow.
And
That's really
I'll
cool.
never forget that. So that's what I'm.
Very cool. So, if you could summarize this team in one word, what would it be and why? This year's team.
I definitely think family, because we've been through a lot together, a lot of adversity, just so much things together, and I feel like that just makes us stronger, makes us want to drive more, and just grows us stronger together. And so I just think it's family.
Yeah, good one. And what do you want your legacy to be as a player and teammate when you take off those pads for the last time as a Warrior?
Just that, I put it all out on the field. I didn't give up, and I just everything I did at full speed, 110%. Didn't give up on anything. So
very good. What do you like to do when you're not playing football or doing schoolwork?
Well, I'm a big hunter. I like to hunt. I like to fish. I just, hiking, kayaking, anything that's, outdoors.
Outdoors, yeah.
I'm a very big outdoors person, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah. All right, James.
Man, you're going into year 5 playing football, and you're homeschooled, correct?
Yes,
to you, I want to get your take on this. What does it mean to you to be a homeschool athlete?
Well, I love it. I definitely think that I couldn't be in a better position than I'm at right now. Just because my mom and my dad, they raised me differently. Because most of the time, if you're in public school, you don't get, you don't get to be around your parents as much. And so I really am really appreciative. I really appreciate my parents and everything that they did and how they raised me, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So
I knew what you were talking about with the runs. When I played, we call them Indian runs, but same concept. Yeah. As the bigger guy, we didn't enjoy them. No. But anyways, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Lighthouse Warriors, we wish you much success on the football field this season, and we're going to take a quick break and be right back with the Ezekiel Knights. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
At South Oak Title, we have extensive experience in residential real estate transactions, enabling us to serve our clients in all their closing needs. We understand that your closing isn't just a file, it's a promise. We create a better title and closing experience by using cutting-edge technology and top-notch customer service that we tailor to meet our clients' needs. Whether you have complicated title issues, need a little extra care, or have questions about title insurance, we're here to support you every step of the way so that you can close with confidence. All right, now we have the Ezekiel Knights joining us. Coach Wilson, appreciate you and the guys being here this morning. Coach Wilson, your second round as head coach of the Knights. Talk about that journey that led you back to being the head coach at Ezekiel.
All right, well, first of all, thank you for having us. We really appreciate you, Scott and Evangel, for hosting us. Yeah, so I stepped away a few years ago, started a family. I've got a 2-year-old daughter at home that, I just want to be around a little bit at the beginning of her life, especially. I don't have any family members or really any connection to Ezekiel except I just love to coach these young men. So Coach Nelson got the opportunity to pastor a church, and so they were looking for kind of somebody else to step in. And these guys have played I'm their third head coach in 3 years. So although that's not stability, I thought, hey, at least I'm familiar with it. This will give them somebody who's been here in this program and can kind of give them a bit of stability. Both of these guys were on the team the last year I was here. They were on JV though, so they were familiar with me, but not to the extent they are now.
Right.
So anyway, God opened those doors. I prayed hard about it because I still have the 2-year-old daughter at home, but yesterday she got to go to her first practice with me and everything. So just the opportunity, Coach Nelson was led a different direction, and that kind of opened the door for me to be led back. So.
Nice. We definitely commend you for making that sacrifice. I know that's a difficult one, especially when you don't have any. Most of the guys, I guess, except Coach Smith, have a son on the team. Both Coach Smiths, right? Anyway, did you learn anything about yourself during those 2 years you weren't the head coach, other than maybe you missed it?
Yeah, definitely that I missed it, and really. I mean, I missed the football side of it, but really what I missed more was the opportunity to minister to these young men. I mean, I'm involved at my church and try to be involved with the youth ministry as much as possible, but I still, I need to do my adult classes and things like that, and so I just didn't have that opportunity day in and day out to minister to these young men and be kind of a positive influence, and I missed that, honestly, more than I thought I would. I always knew I used it as a ministry and took the opportunity, but I think when I was walking away, I thought I used this as that, not the other way around. So I really sought that back out after I was gone, and that was kind of the biggest thing I think I learned from being away.
Yeah.
That, and I'm not very good at keeping stats because I tried to come back and be the statistician for him, and I'm a pretty poor stat guy. So
you probably were trying to coach too much to be able to keep the stats, right?
I guess I'm not sure.
So with your 2 stints, basically the program's had, gone through 4 seasons with a different head coach over the last 4 years, including your first last season. How do you think that impacted the stability of the program, or did it?
Yeah, so fortunately every year we were able to keep somebody that was within the program step into the next, but still it's a different voice at the top. It's a different different ideas, different. I still say the guy that took over for me, David Lawrence, he's the best one they've had, to include myself and the guys before me. But Coach Lawrence has younger children, and he's actually coaching at Tallahassee Youth League. So,
okay,
I'd say they upgraded after me, and then Coach Nelson, just one of the godliest men I know, and so I think he was a great influence for the young men, the ones that would allow him to kind of pour into them. So. But from a football standpoint, I think that was detrimental, and I think you saw the results of that last year. The numbers were down. Obviously the 3 wins, that was lowest in Ezekiel history. So, and I think that all goes back to the instability at coaching, because the guys are the guys. I mean, they're going to fight hard. They're going to play hard. So. And I don't think any of us necessarily did a poor job. I mean, I had a 5-win season my last year. Coach Lawrence had a 7, and then Coach Nelson had a 3. And like I said, it's just tough, especially, because you see the football side of it. There's a whole administrative side of it that goes into it too, that you're trying to catch up, you're trying to grab. I mean, I still have there's still coaches that call Coach Lawrence to schedule games. And Coach Lawrence is texting me and emailing me and, hey, I got you this game. So I'm appreciative of that. But that makes it a little difficult, right? No other coach knows who to call. So anyways, I felt for the players. I mean, they were the ones feeling it the worst. So definitely affected it. But, they've been resilient, and they've made the best of the situation.
Well, the season is almost here. I'm sure you were at the games or were studying game film from last year, et cetera. What is the most glaring need or deficiency from last year that has to improve this year for you guys to have more success?
We've got to tackle people. I see some guys in here that I watched on film last year that Ezekiel just quite frankly did not tackle. Offensively, we had some players last year, but I was talking with Coach Smith earlier. We lost 6 starters and the 2 immediate backups for 2 of those positions. So you're losing 8. You lost 100% of your offensive productivity last year. And if you watched Ezekiel games, if they won last year, it was by outscoring you.
Right.
Because they didn't tackle anybody. And both of these guys can admit that. They were out there. And so we've I'm back, which is okay. I'm a decent administrator. I can call a few plays. But what we did is I was able to bring my defensive coordinator back from when I was here before. And, we may not do anything else, but we should tackle.
Okay.
So that, to me, that's the – and then just on the – that's the physical side. We got to play together. I mean, I would sit up there and watch these games, and you'd have people bickering and fighting on the field and just – neither of these guys were constant, but they were sophomores last year. So you had a senior group last year that really wanted to do things their way, and when their way didn't work, they wanted to point fingers and sit out, and I hate that, but that's the road they chose. Those coaches were pouring everything they could into them, and they just decided they didn't like that way. So we've got to improve psychologically in that and playing together and being competitive every snap, and I think we have, honestly. I think it's early. We haven't been tested. We've been hitting each other. We'll find out next Friday night just how much we have improved, but the attitude and effort has definitely improved.
Good deal. And you got a couple of those constants here with you today, but is there any particular guy, maybe not here today, that you're expecting big things from, maybe having a breakout season or anything like that?
We've got a sophomore receiver. This is first year playing football, and a great build, great makeup, about 6'2", probably about 165, 170, runs well. I thought he was a soccer player. He looks like a soccer player, honestly. Y'all know what I mean by that. He doesn't play soccer as far as I know, but he could have potentially a good year just because we're so thin at wide receiver, man. We graduated our top 3 wide receivers. Well, we graduated our best receiver from last year, and the next 2 decided to take different avenues.
Okay.
And so we're that whole wide receiver group is kind of revamped. There's a junior. His name's Donovan Gentry. We're looking to him to be a constant for us. I think where you'll see some breakout is defense, because I think they've got good instruction. I think they've got a good plan. Trig Gentry, that's Donovan's brother. He's going to step in at linebacker. We got a guy named David Jackson that's going to step in at linebacker. Both of those guys are juniors. So I think you could see some big improvement, especially on that defensive side of the ball, from some unknown names.
Okay. Very good. And so with, a new head coach at the top, like you said, and numbers maybe still not where you'd like them to be, what does success in 2025 look like for Ezekiel?
Well, I mean, we've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't care if we won 3 games last year or not.
Yeah.
Success is winning the ACSC championship. Now, do I think we're further away from that than ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I sat up here and told you making the playoffs that's not what we're here for. That's the football side of it. Now, obviously we want these guys to get as close to Christ as possible.
Yeah.
And that is the main goal every day, and that's something that we take from Coach Nelson, and he laid the great foundation. I've got very good Christian leaders on the team, so we want to see the attitudes improve in a Christ-like way, not just hey, let's get along, but let's lead each other, let's hold each other accountable, things like that. So those are the 2 main goals. I want to get back to Panama City. I want to see James. I want to be back on that stage in Panama City with James again. Last time I was on it didn't go my way. We lost the water chugging contest. Coach Smith ring flashed me during the middle of the game, and we were winning 13-0.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's been a long time, Coach Smith, but I don't forget. So that's what success looks like. But I'll be honest with you, we're a long way away from that in terms of football field. But our other goal, man, we're chugging in the right direction with that, and that's because of the player-led side of it.
Yeah, that's it's good to see you guys sound like you have your priorities straight. So that's, if you can continue that, you'll definitely be successful. So I want to turn it over to James now. James, do you have any questions?
For folks not familiar with that story, are you comfortable sharing it?
Sure.
The ring story?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So, first year in Panama City, we matched up with Evangel in the championship game. It was the second time we had played them that year. And we're winning 13-0. We go to kickoff, and I look across the field. And it wasn't Coach Smith, but it was Coach Smith and Coach Joyner were standing there. And I look at them. And then right behind them, I see a fella named Jedd Lodge. I don't know. Jagger's kind of the second coming of Jedd Lodge, in my opinion. But anyway, I see Jedd Lodge smile at me and go. And we didn't score again, and they scored a lot.
Yep.
So 40-13 actually was the final. But I always you got to bend it a little bit to, Coach Smith's still here, so I got to make it sound like it was something he did. But Coach Smith didn't do anything. But they were laughing. And, Coach, do you mind if I share about that? So they were actually laughing when I looked at him, and I told him after the game, I said, Coach, I knew I was in trouble when I looked over there and you were laughing, and Jedd Lodge was pointing at his finger, and he said, me and Hagan were laughing about how bad you were about to beat us. So anyway, that's a fun story. That but I'd like to get back there. I'd like to be back on that stage with you in the radio show, and it's a cool thing, right? But just know that's something that we all look forward to. I'd love to have one of these two young men up there with me, sharing with you at the end of the season.
Appreciate that. I know your answer's got to be different from JJ because you've done it. The first time around, you won the championship, the ACSC championship. So for you as a head coach, what is one goal that you have not achieved that you would like to do or like to achieve maybe the second time around?
I think this may be a good time for the I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Fair enough.
James, great question, James. Well, I think – a successful run down in Panama City would be cool. I was sharing with these guys. These guys have never got to play in Panama City, right? And so I'd like to give that experience to the players. But me, we got to be at the top to go.
Yeah.
Just logistically for Ezekiel, it's so hard to go that it really doesn't work for us unless we're kind of one of those top D1 teams. So I'd like to get us there to give these guys that opportunity, and then just keep providing opportunities for them to do what they want to after football, right? So I mean that's I know that's kind of a cliche answer, but you didn't give me a layup there.
That's fair.
So,
okay, well here you go. What's the team motto for this year, and how did it come about?
It's just one word: compete. I mean that sounds crazy, but compete, because last year we've watched film from every game last year, and we just didn't compete. I'll point out Jagger again because he's a constant theme here. But, man, there's a play that kind of summed up Ezekiel's season last year. There was a blitz to the exact gap that Jagger was going to run in. I had two guys on film stepping towards that gap, and they both ran away. To me, that's not competing. So it's no big slogan. It's just compete. That's what we start with. That's what we end with. We got to compete every down.
Keep it simple. There you go.
I have to, James.
Yep,
that's all I can do.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, appreciate it, Coach. We're going to ask the players some questions now, and I'm going to ask y'all to take those mics out of the stands there and make sure to, because we're having some audio issues with those mics, so make sure they're touching your chins when you're talking. All right. So we'll start with Parker, junior quarterback. Excuse me. Oh, thought I heard something. Parker, who is your favorite athlete and why?
I'd probably say Lamar Jackson, because I'm a Ravens fan and I'm a quarterback. So obviously I'm led to like quarterbacks that are on the Ravens. But I like his play style. I try to. Obviously, I'm not as fast as him or not as good as him, but that's what I try to model my game after. And yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good one. And so you're going to be the signal caller for Ezekiel this year.
Yes, sir.
This your first year playing quarterback, or
yes, sir.
not?
I played the past 3 years. Past 2 years I was on JV. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay.
And both years that I played, the JV team was super small. So, yes, sir. I'm excited to be on a bigger stage this year to hopefully be able to compete.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, was there much of a quarterback competition there, or were you kind of just the guy coming in based on experience?
So, at first I thought I was going to be the guy just coming in, but we had a 10th grader. His first year playing, he can sling the ball. That's for sure. but I should be starting this the first game. But it definitely was a competition at first. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And yes, sir.
And what does the offense, we've heard a lot about the defense.
Yes,
What
sir.
does the offense need to do this year to be successful in your mind?
I think we needed to catch the ball. That's something that we need to be able to do for sure. And catching the ball is a big one. And
Yeah.
we need to be physical. That's one big thing. I feel like past few years our team hasn't been the most physical because we've had a fast running back who can just run by anybody, can just get out the way. This year we got 2 running backs. One of them is a athlete. The other one's also an athlete. But
More of a bruiser type or something?
yes, sir. I mean, he says that, but
Okay.
he'll be able to do it.
So, are there any personal goals that you've set for yourself this season?
I want to win, obviously,
Mm.
but I also want to be the best leader that I can for my teammates and just have fun while doing it, while winning, hopefully.
Very good. James?
Hey, buddy, been playing for 3 years
Yes, sir.
in the conference. I'll shrink it down to the conference just so it's a smaller pool. But
Yes, sir.
is there anybody that you really enjoy playing against, or that you appreciate how they play the game?
I really like playing Lighthouse last year because we won, and we didn't. I mean,
But is there one particular player that comes to mind when you think of somebody that this year you're playing them, and I can't wait to play this guy?
not that comes to mind.
Fair enough.
I mean, obviously Jagger, they're gonna be a team that we need to compete against, and yes, sir. Yeah,
There you go.
yes, sir.
Fair enough. That's good for me.
All right. Stephen Groff, Jr. So, what's your favorite sports movie and why?
Probably Woodlawn.
That's
Big
a good one.
football movie. I guess just because everyone needs Jesus in their lives, it helps a lot. So
Yeah.
it's probably a big point.
Very good movie. I like that it has the local theme too, or local story attached to it. So, Coach Wilson has you playing guard on offense.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
So, what do you see being the biggest challenge for you to play that position this year, and how do you plan to attack that?
Weight, definitely weight. Lost a lot of weight over the preseason. I've been trying to eat more. Just not working out, working all day in the heat, losing a lot of weight. But it comes down to skill and making sure you have that level of skill, and it's looking so far good. And I think so. You can in practice, and just keeping that going in the game further
Yeah.
on in the season.
A lot of toughness probably too when you're an undersized guy. I guess you're pretty quick, huh?
Yes, sir.
Good. And on defense, you had a solid season last year. What is one area of your game you've worked on to improve on that side of the ball?
Footwork, a lot of footwork. Trying to be quicker off the start, beat the tight end, guard. That's pretty much about it.
Yeah, footwork. I hear you. Is there one game on the schedule you're particularly excited about playing this year, and why?
They're all great games. Look forward to playing them. Probably Evangel. Love playing them. They're, they bring the game. So
Yeah, that used. Aside from the last year or two, it's been a pretty big rivalry. You'd like to see it get back there, I bet.
Yes, sir. I would.
Yeah. And is there anyone in particular that has mentored you or really poured a lot into helping you develop as a player or a person?
My dad. He's always been there every time I've played some sport.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's on the sidelines or he's in the stands, he's still giving me tips on how to take that next step. So.
You play any other sports?
Yes, sir. Baseball and rugby.
Okay. Cool. And James, did you have any questions?
Well, I think we have the solution for your weight, the weight loss and trying to gain weight. Just make sure there's no leftovers in the fridge. I think we've covered that.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we need to cut down on those leftovers a little bit and get them out of there. Man, if you had to think about somebody on your team that you really, I'll say that you don't want to hit in practice, who's that bruiser on your team or other than yourself? Because obviously you feel like you're a good hitter, but who's the other person on your team that you're like, man, I'm tired of hitting this guy. I want him to hit somebody else.
Comes down to two. There's David and then Landon Etheridge. Every time we hit, it's always a good showdown when we do Oklahomas, all three of us. So I don't know, it's competitive. It does hurt some days. So
there you go. Fair enough. I'm good.
Well, thank you so much, Ezekiel. We look forward to watching you guys play this year, and that's going to wrap it up for you guys. We're going to now have a break while we play an ad, and then we're going to have the Southern Christian Patriots coming up. Jason Scott. At South Oak Title, we have extensive experience in residential real estate transactions, enabling us to serve our clients in all their closing needs. We understand that your closing isn't just a file, it's a promise. We create a better title and closing experience by using cutting-edge technology and top-notch customer service that we tailor to meet our clients' needs. Whether you have complicated title issues, need a little extra care, or have questions about title insurance, we're here to support you every step of the way so that you can close with confidence. All right, so Southern Christian Patriots have joined us now. I apologize to Coach JJ and Coach Hunter. I meant to allow y'all some opening comments before I jumped into questions. But anyway, we're going to allow Coach Jason Scott to open with a few statements on the state of his team and the 2025 season. Take it away, Coach.
We are really excited to be here, and thank you, James, for thank you, James, for setting this up, and Coach Tim and the Evangel folks for hosting this.
Scott set this up.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Scott set this up.
Thank you, Scott, and James Shannon for being here from A-Man Extreme. We're glad to be here and be part of this. And I could say this about our program this year. It'd probably be the best thing to say. The off season has set us up for some success, and hopefully looking forward, into 2-3 weeks down the road here, we'll see if it's working or not. We had a lot of guys in our preseason, which is where we developed our motto, rise and grind, 5 a.m. workouts, and it took a little while for that to catch on, and it took some leadership from the guys really pushing and picking guys up over and over and over, and just dragging guys out of bed to get them to start. But once we got it started, it really made a difference in our program. We've seen some good gains in the places where it's going to matter the most. So the season coming through, we're looking forward to being competitive, like Coach Hunter spoke about. We lost a lot of guys, and you all know that. We basically lost our entire offense and defensive line minus our center. Gabriel Finney is the only guy coming back from our line, and it was tough because now we're sitting on a bunch of young guys. I don't want to talk too much because I'm probably going to answer some of you guys' questions, but we are excited for the season. We're hoping to make a run. We're at this point we've established some senior leadership, and they're dragging these younger guys in, and it's really becoming what the guys always say when they break their huddles, family. It's really becoming a family, and that's the most important and really the most exciting part, seeing these guys gelling together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach Scott, congratulations on I believe it was the team's first winning season in your young program history last year, correct?
Correct, that's right.
Yeah, so congratulations on that. You finished third in the conference. What does the team need to do this year to keep the momentum and upward trajectory of the program going?
So I think the biggest thing I touched on, and that is leadership. I think we've got good leadership. And nothing against our leadership last year. Obviously, we had a good season.
Yeah.
But a lot of the leadership came from the juniors, and those juniors are now seniors. And we have a really great core of guys that are making a difference out there. The coaches don't have to be quite so involved in the straightening kids out, and we actually have this crazy thing that our line has started doing. At the end of practice, the whole line will run extra laps for no reason. They just run extra sprints for no reason, other than they just want to be faster, want to be more in shape. So guys taking initiative. That's a huge part of what we haven't had in the past, and we do have this year.
Wow, that's awesome. And, Coach, I think you had 6 seniors last year and 8 this year.
Yep.
You're not really used to coaching a team with this much maturity as you've worked to build this program with a lot of youth over the years. How have those 8 seniors handled their leadership role specifically, and how has the team responded to that? You kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, so it has been interesting to watch. We have guys like my senior quarterback, Elijah Bailey, number 5. Elijah, I've known him since he was 5 years old, and he's never been a vocal person. He does his talking when he puts his helmet on, and it's not with his voice. And so it never has been. But this year, we've seen Elijah really stepping into that role and really getting vocal with the guys, jumping on guys when they're lagging. And I'm glad to see it, really glad to see it. Of course, our senior lineman, Gabe Finney, he is the leader of our line, and he does a great job with the linemen. And he's always correcting these young guys because our line is very young. We're going to be tough in the skill positions. Our line is our test right now, and that's really, where Gabe Finney is. I mean, he's doing the Lord's work with these guys and forcing them to be very uncomfortable all the time. And so I'm very excited about Gabe. And the last one, of course, Lawton Curran, who went out 2 years ago with a punctured lung in the Evangel family opener, his JV season, and we lost an entire season. And so Lawton coming back this year he's one of our angrier guys. He's an angry guy, and so he doesn't mind jumping on the guys and slapping them in the butt and putting them back in line. So we've got some great senior leadership.
That's great. And as you've really done a great job building this program. What would it mean for the program if Southern Christian could win a conference championship this year?
Well, that's the uphill struggle, right? There's a man in the back, very very back of this building that's got a lot to say about that, and he's got a lot of experience that we don't have. Absolutely, it would mean a great deal to our program because this is the SEC of 8-man football in Alabama. Last year we beat the AISA champion, we beat the ACAA champion, and we couldn't beat Daniel. Daniel beat us twice last year. We couldn't overcome East Central. Of course, Evangel sitting on the top there. So it is a battle to play these teams in this conference because they're just a very tough group of guys here.
Yeah.
And so beating these teams sitting in this room right here and winning that title, I think it's probably better than the national title at that point.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
So you got 2 seniors here today with you. Just happen to be your only sons on the team, I believe.
Yeah, these are the last 2.
Are you going to be the head coach at SCA next year?
I'm going to go one more year. I know you were going to do this. I knew you was going to do this to me. I'm going to go one more year. I have a gentleman who is my offensive coordinator. We switched up some roles.
Okay.
Jeff Miller is now our offensive coordinator. He's a younger guy. He's got a lot of younger kids in the program. Coach Jeff Bailey has taken over the defensive role, calling plays and coordinating the defense. And I think that Miller is in a great spot. If he's we'll find out. This is his first year as an offensive coordinator, so we'll find out if he can handle the pressure. And I would be looking to hand this off after next year.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds like you've got a good succession plan there. I'll turn it over to James.
Coach, who's I think I asked you on the show last year, but I'll ask you again. Give you a chance to call your shot. Who is somebody that you've never played before that you would like to get a game with, that you'd like to play?
That's interesting. So there's a team in our conference, and Trinity Christian, not in our conference, I'm sorry, in our area. They started an 8-man program this year, and they've got 3 of our guys that have played with us up until this year, and have not been able to get them on my schedule. Of course, they're AISA, and they got a full schedule. We've been begging for a scrimmage or anything. We want to get after these guys a little bit, and it's a friendly thing. But that is a game I want to get on my schedule before I hand the whistle off. I really want to get a game with them, and hopefully Coach Noah is watching, and he'll schedule me for next year.
Well, Coach, let me ask you, for you personally, who has been the biggest influence off the field on you in your coaching career?
Well, that's tough. I'm gonna have to say.
Yes, I finally asked a good question.
Yeah, you got me on that. You got me, man. I know it's kind of like everybody's gonna say it, but my dad taught me some very valuable lessons that I pushed down. One of those is when you start something, you finish it, and he made me finish a year of football, Pee Wee football, very first year I ever played, and I got killed by a few kids because I was small, and they just killed me. And I went home and I threw my helmet over there in a bucket, and I told my mom, never playing again. And that was corrected rather quickly by my dad. And I did end up finishing the season and did enjoy towards the end. It took a while because I never played football before. It took a while, but did enjoy playing that entire year. And I think my dad is probably the biggest influence, just because he was a no nonsense kind of guy. He was a military guy, and showed me what it means to be a man, and to get up early and work hard and all that thing. So
there you go.
Very good. All right, now I'm going to ask the players to take those microphones out of the stands there and make sure they're touching those chins for me. I'm going to start off with Jagger here. So, Jedd, you can relax. Sorry, but Jagger. Start off with a little icebreaker question for you. If you could have any superpower on the field, what would it be and why?
Man, I had to think about this. I was sitting there and I'm like, getting hit over and over and hitting people over and over, is like these bumps and bruises, they add up. So I was like some healing or some like invincibility or something.
Yeah.
Because it gets tiring. But other than that, I mean, I would love to, let's say, like flying around the field or something. That's all right.
Yeah. Be nice, wouldn't it? So what would it mean to you as a guy who's been around the program pretty much since it was started to win a championship this year?
Yes, sir. That is the goal. That's our coaches asked us. We had a little senior meeting, and our Jeff Miller, he comes up and he's like, "Okay, guys, what's the goal here?" And I was like, for me, it's championship and no fumbles. And we had a few other goals and stuff, but this year and last year, we recently got that in our sights. Years before, we was kind of building, but coming up with this senior class, that is the goal. So that, and probably if we do get the opportunity to go to the national championship, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, no doubt. And I asked Jedd this question last year, and now it's your turn to answer it. Tell us what it's like to play for your father, Coach Jason Scott.
Man, I don't remember what Jedd said last year, but I'm not going to say anything too bad. I mean, he's not terrible. No, I'm just kidding. He's a great coach. He's got a lot of experience. He doesn't get to coach me firsthand because he's a line coach, but it's a joy to have him coaching and being a part of our life just so much. I mean, he works late, so coming in, if we didn't have football, we wouldn't get to see him much. So very thankful for that, and even just for this program. And Mom, she works hard too. So they're very involved, which is great. So
Cool. And what is one thing that your fans might not know about Jagger Scott that you'd like to have remembered in your legacy as an SCA football player?
well, if I have any fans, I hadn't met them yet, but I think that's tough. That's a hard question, but I did think about it. Coming in as a senior, trying to be a leader for these guys is definitely a big thing. I think being a light to these guys and not dragging them down, pulling each other up, is
Being
probably what
positive.
and being a good leader, Christ-like,
Yeah.
leading them the right way. And also, we haven't had anybody go to the next level at our team, so that would be something that I might be interested in too.
That kind of leads me into my next question. What are your plans after high school?
Well, currently have no interest for I want to go somewhere, play somewhere for football, continue my career. But if not, there's a small school, community college around us. It's called Southern Union. Got a lot of trades there. May do that. I don't know. There's also Highlands College around here, which is great. It's a ministry school. There's a lot of opportunities. I've just got to pick one, and it's confusing sometimes.
It's a
honestly.
lot.
So,
It's a lot
yes,
for
sir.
sure. James?
here we
Man,
go.
back to the question about playing for your dad. Have you ever had the situation where your dad made you late for practice and then coach made you run because you were late for practice?
Well, actually, it's usually this guy over here, Jedd, who makes me like practice. So, nah, I'm just kidding. My mom sometimes, she usually took us to practice when I was younger, but he's usually rolling in on 2 wheels to practice. So, I've never had that problem with him. I have had to run for some things, like forgetting a shirt or something crazy, but no, nothing like that.
Let me get a serious question. 2 teams have come up so far, and your name's come up both times. And I'm sure the next 2 teams, your name's going to come up. And even outside of the conference, your name's come up. Who has been the person that's helped you stay grounded and helped you stay, focused on the main goal? Not just, I'm going to be one of the guys that everybody talks about. Who helps you stay grounded in all the success and everything you've been able to do?
You may not remember him, but Josiah Frick,
Yep.
2 years ago. He's a role model for me, a mentor. We go to church together. He calls me sometimes, texts me, checks in. I've never looked at myself that way, but he's always been there encouraging me and saying, like, hey, keep your eyes this way. Like, you know where you're going, like the end goal. So he's always been there for me.
Well, and sometimes the guys that do end up in those positions don't even look at themselves that way because of guys like Josiah
Right.
helping
yes,
you
sir.
stay focused. So that's good.
Yes, sir. Our whole coaching staff it's just work. It don't matter where you are, just keep working. There's always something next to come, Jedd, he's always been there for me. Pushing each other hard, so especially this off season in the gym, just working. So
There you go.
yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Jagger. Jedd.
There we go.
Grab that now.
Yep.
You played a lot of football
Mhm.
over the years, and a lot of crazy things can happen on the field. What's the funniest thing that you can remember has happened in a practice or game?
It was actually, James knows this. It was in the national championship last year, and Jagger was going out to hold a kick or a field goal, and he just literally starts throwing up, and just like bent straight over. And it's actually funny because James ended up on the interview before the game, like the national championship game, and he wore Jagger's helmet. He's like, "This smells weird," but that was actually the helmet that he threw up in the day before. I don't know.
Nobody told me
I
that.
don't know if you knew that.
Nobody said anything to me about that.
That's great.
Oh man,
That's
Yeah,
great.
so now you know.
appreciate that.
I'm glad I asked you that question because I was wondering who I was going to ask that question, and because that one could be a dud, but
Yeah.
that was great. So, is there a particular role model in or outside of sports who inspires you?
Yeah, for sure. I would say my grandpa. He's always had like the greatest work ethic I've ever heard, like ever seen.
Mm.
And he goes to work like every night. He's a trucker. Just the way he leads our family, he's always a giver, and I strive to be that too. Even if you don't have a lot of money, he gives to everybody he like that's around him. So
Very
I love
generous.
my grandpa.
That's awesome. As a senior and a player that's been around the program a long time, how would you describe your leadership style?
I'd say hard. Like I'm hard on the guys, but it's in a loving way. So everything I do is out of love, and the guys know that. Even if like when I call them out and they don't like it, and especially some of the older guys, they're like a little more stubborn. I'm like, hey, you gotta listen to me. Like I've been playing football for 6 years, like, and you just started like last year. So I'd say definitely hard, but out of love.
Yeah, I've noticed watching your games, you got a lot of fire and energy on
Yes,
the
sir.
field, so that's cool. As I discussed with Coach Scott, this team seems to be turning the corner after last year in terms of a program. What's one thing you've seen from this year's team so far that makes you think it can ascend to the top of the ACSC?
I would say the gym. Like in recent years, it's just been like me, Jagger, and like 3 other guys. But the last year we kind of stepped it up more. But this year for sure, guys are realizing like championships are made in the off season and in the gym, and a lot of the guys are stepping up. I could name off some, but they're stepping up a lot. And the younger guys, for sure, Luke, Parker, Mason, Graham. We got a lot of younger guys coming up, and they're getting in the gym more than half the older guys, which is crazy to me. But
How have you seen that translate onto the field so far in camp?
Footwork. Their footwork is good. And just like honestly, their mental capability to learn is just really good. They'll listen to me and they'll do something wrong. I'll be like, hey, do this right, do this your other foot forward, and then I'll look at them and they're doing it the next time they go up, and I'm like, it's impressive to see that.
Sounds like you got a lot of coachable guys, Coach Scott. That's great. So is there anything you've seen from the underclassmen on this team that makes you hopeful about the future of the program maybe after this year?
Yes, sir. Just like I said, like the younger guys in the gym, and I'd say our line is stepping up like a lot. So we have a younger line this year, but they want to learn. Last year we had an older line, but they're kind of stubborn, a little lazy. No shot to y'all guys that are watching if you played last year, but just like there's a little streak of laziness sometimes, and you can see it on film. Like one time we played East Central, and our lineman Elliott, I think there was a miscommunication, but he just literally the whole play didn't even get out of his stance, which is kind of crazy. He just sat there in his stance, didn't even move a muscle, and Elijah was pissed, but he was mad, really mad. My fault. But yeah, I'd say our line is impressive.
Hot mic. Okay, James.
Jedd, did anything special go into picking your number 7, or what was it?
Not really. It's always stuck with. I like it how it's like God's number. Like, I mean, a lot of people say that, but I don't know. And my older brother Jarrett, he was number 7 when he played, and he was a great athlete. Did he play senior year? I don't know. Yeah. He didn't really get to fulfill his potential, so I was hoping to step up and fill that role in for him.
Kind of Peyton Manning situation. There you go.
Yes, sir.
What's your life verse, or do you have one yet? And how does it play into everything you do?
I have there's a lot of verses that I like. You're talking like out of the Bible?
Yeah.
There's a lot. I love the Bible, but on the spot it's like hard to come up with one. I like the Galatians 5:22. I was actually Church of the Highlands. Michah goes to Church of the Highlands, and we're doing prayer right now. And I was in prayer and I was reading Galatians 5:22. It's the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, self-control. And I really strive to be all of those, and I pray those over my life every day. So
there you go.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Awesome.
Great job, guys. Wish you much success this season, and that's a wrap. Good job. So we will take a break and listen to a word from our sponsors and be right back. You're watching ACSC Football. At South Oak Title, we have extensive experience in residential real estate transactions, enabling us to serve our clients in all their closing needs. We understand that your closing isn't just a file, it's a promise. We create a better title and closing experience by using cutting-edge technology and top-notch customer service that we tailor to meet our clients' needs. Whether you have complicated title issues, need a little extra care, or have questions about title insurance, we're here to support you every step of the way so that you can close with confidence. All right, we have East Central head coach Daniel Smith is with us. Coach, would you like to give us a few comments on the state of your program?
Absolutely. Thanks, Scott. First, I want to thank you and East Central, Evangel, for hosting ACSC Media Days. It's always fun to be here to promote our program. Great season last year, just real quickly. It was a lot of fun, accomplished a lot of things, a lot of firsts. Started in Gatlinburg, had a great win there, ended in Panama City, which was it's a great program builder to go and get that kind of exposure and to play well, to feel like you belong. So thank you to Andrew Capps, the guys at Rocky Top that promote all of our teams to be able to go and do those kind of things, and also Mike St. Dennis for the national championship down in Panama City. Those are things that we all strive to be at. Southern Christian as well. You got to go and represent it extremely well, so it's a lot of fun to be down there with those guys. But our season it was a whirlwind. The spring I know at the end of the season I was emotional after we played the Heat in a great game, which could win either way. Coach Scott does a great job. But after the game, just looking back on spring, and we were low on numbers, and you never know what you're going to have. And then to have all those guys come together and work through all of that, it was a fun season. It was really fun, and hopefully we can take that and springboard into this year.
Yep, you guys finished runners up in the conference. What do you see as being the key to winning it this year?
Well, we're putting in the work in the off season. Jedd said it. It's one in the off season, and our guys are putting in the work. We've got great senior leadership. These guys today, we got 7 seniors that lots of character, leadership. Our motto, and I don't want to answer any of your guys' questions ahead of time, but our motto is, embrace the truth. I told the guys at our first practice, be ready to hear the truth more than ever. We need to know. You need to know where you stand and where to improve and be coachable. And we've really taken that, and the guys they're showing up at 4:15 for 5 o'clock practice, doing a lot of things to get better. Our linemen are really working hard, staying late. We're out there at 8 o'clock sometimes. And it's fun. The guys really. It's a fun team to coach. And when your best players, are your best leaders, you got something.
No doubt. So, first time going to Gatlinburg this year for the Black Bear Brawl, is that correct?
No, we were there last year.
I'm sorry, second year going to Gatlinburg. Just talk a little bit about the excitement of that experience last year and what you guys are looking forward to about this year's game.
Well, last year was tough on Andrew Capps and those guys because matching these teams up from across the Southeast is tough. And Harvest came in, and it was a tough matchup. We had the advantage, and those guys played hard, but it was a great experience. But this year it's gonna be a different story. Playing a team out of North Carolina, Faith Christian, who I coached some of their guys. We got to go back in December in the All-American game, so me and my staff got to go coach in that, which was phenomenal. And had a couple of kids off that Faith Christian team. Luckily, one of them was a senior. The other one, Aiden Tyndall, big linebacker, running back, great player. So we'll get to see him. We know what he's about. He's a great player. But the other part of that is I got to coach Jedd Scott in Gatlinburg in December. That was a lot of fun. So, taught him everything I know. He got him a big six. And, no, but it was fun. I mean, those kind of things is what this is really about, the camaraderie, all the coaches before even today, just sharing stories. Coach Wilson's back. We're all excited about that. I'm a little bit disappointed. I did get him. I got a 1-0 edge on him my first season. We were fortunate enough to play him and somehow go down there and win a game against those guys, and now he's back. So I don't get to say I'm sure he's wanting to get back in the win column, but
right.
But the camaraderie we have as coaches is special because we all want to win. I know we get the questions about everybody wants to be on top, but this is a great group of coaches in this conference. Even like I said, I bring that game up because after the game he was so kind and gave me a hug. It was my first year as head coach, and my first game as head coach was against Tim here.
Yeah.
So that's tough. And then we go and we play North River, and somehow we score 60 points and lose a football game.
Wow.
And then we come back and, but somehow we were able to come out and play well against Ezekiel. And that was a program changer for us.
Yeah.
But just the way the coaches treat each other, we all want to win, but I mean, man, everybody's just so supportive of each other, and that's special.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, your roster numbers keep improving. You had 33 last year and 37 this year at the start of the season, give or take. What's been the success? What's been the secret to attracting and keeping talent in the program?
And I tell these guys because I had two boys that come through this program, that helped when we started it back up in 2019 with 16 total players, and we came out and we came to watch Tim practice. And I think we all showed up together in a minivan. I mean, it was not many guys, but the parents, our board, our AD, Dan Jett's here, the support that we get. We got all new helmets this year. We just all the growth in the organization, how quickly we've grown and poured into this football program, and the advertisement and just these are our recruiters. These are the guys that go out and tell them how much fun it is. And then when you go win some games, that helps. But that's been the secret is just when people show up, they want to be a part of it. And it's helped us sustain the numbers, and we're strong. We're about 50-50 JV and varsity.
That's great.
So. I'd say we're in a great spot.
Good deal. So, a lot of the coaches in the conference are bivocational, if you will. So how do you balance your coaching responsibilities with other responsibilities you have between work and family and everything?
My assistant coaches, we have 7 outstanding assistant coaches who some have played and coached at the college level. Coach Keith Best is here today with Cade's dad. He's a phenomenal coach. Cade's a senior, and Coach Best coaches the JV and gets after him. I mean, he loves it. It's not just there. He's not out there for his son. I think Cade's probably happy with that. So he doesn't get yelled at all the time. But no, our staff, and then you said my wife, coaches' wives. We're not paid, so it's different, but she's very supportive. Even after my boys graduated, she's happy with me being out of the house some, I think. So, but it's my coaching staff and of course my wife and my kids are very supportive of what I do.
Coach, let me give you the first kudos for being the first person to mention your wife. I tried to give 2 other coaches a layup to mention their wife and nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, coaches.
Hey, for you, I asked this of a couple other people, but for you, who has been the biggest influence in your coaching career off the field?
Well, obviously my father, my dad, not a sports guy, but he's, I learned a lot about humility and patience he's an outdoorsman, so he's more the Phil Robertson type. But it all translates, and it's all, based in your love of the Lord. So he's taught me humility and patience, which is something I think more coaches need. Whether it's here, anywhere. I'm not I don't jump on officials. I treat them with respect because that stuff really doesn't work when you go the other way.
Yep.
But my dad and then my pastor, Brother Dewey Corder, who passed away in 2020, but he drugged me into ministry as a young children's minister and involved with our youth, and then that course, that's just the way the Lord worked. And then he opened the door for East Central and to get involved as an assistant and grow from there. So definitely my father, and my dad, and my pastor. And then the pastor we have now, Paul Brazier, his son was a captain at UAB linebacker, so he's a big sports guy. So now I kind of have that, a great friend to lean on, and he does a camp every year at our church, a free camp. He brings college kids in to do a free camp, and we get to go and enjoy that. So I get a lot of support.
Good deal. Lost my train of thought. Hang on, I'll find it.
I do that all the time.
Oh, okay. So the championship last year doesn't go the way you want it to. You guys go to Florida. First game doesn't go the way you want to. The last one does. But I want to back up before Florida, between the championship and Florida. There's not a lot of time. But for you, what was the biggest thing you did to process, or maybe it was after the season, to process how that championship game went, and then how were you able to help your guys this offseason with kind of, processing that?
Well, of course, we got the call. I don't know exactly when. It was before we played Evangel. I think they were waiting to see between us and Jason who was going to win that game, which really I'm still not sure who won that game. That was the regular season game. But it was, that was a whirlwind. And the trick was calling Micah's mom, Amy Smith, who's here today. She's our team coordinator, and saying, hey, you think we can get everything together to go to Panama City in a couple of weeks? And so, of course, everyone's excited, supportive, but we had to pull that together. So, no, it was great. We were thrilled and just wanted to understand the logistics the first time. From what I understand, usually when you go into the D2 for the first time. Is what we got put in the D1. But, hey, the guys played well, and I think they represented the conference well and proved we were where we should have been.
Well, let me clean the question up a little bit. So the championship, the conference championship doesn't go the way you want it to.
Right.
What was the biggest? Was it a Bible verse? Was it talking to someone? How did you kind of process and decompress after that game?
Am I over it yet?
No, but like you kind of have to sit like at night. Maybe you're sitting.
We scored 5 touchdowns. Tim scored 4, and he had the lead. Okay, so that
maybe
just tells
you're sitting on your porch and you're
in
just
the first half.
So
I still haven't figured that one out. No, he did. I mean, they executed better the conversions, but No, repeat the question. Sorry.
So you're sitting on your porch and you're thinking about the championship, maybe the night after or a couple days after. Is there a Bible verse? Was there talking to someone? How did you kind of decompress and process that game? Or is that a process that you have? Do you have to go through a process of, okay, we lost, let me get over it and then move on? Or is it immediate?
It's immediate. Man, I'm a competitor. I don't know if I show it well. I mean, I want to win every game, but man, we move on. We these players, they're so resilient. They're the ones out there tackling. I don't want to break the trend. They're tackling Jagger. Okay, they're tackling those guys. I mean, if Coach Smith had quadruplets, I don't think he'd lose a game. Or Coach Scott, sorry, but no, these guys are what make me. We got to be ready for the next challenge. These guys need to get to work, and they need us to help them get there. So, honestly, I mean, I just remember it was, hey, we watched the film, we learned from it, and it's a process.
So, watching film's kind of the way that you guys kind of process how the game went, and then move on a little bit.
Yeah, my wife knows. She knows I'm no good on Saturday. I mean, it's.
There you go. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yep.
All right, so. Have some questions for the players here. Cade, Best, we'll start with you. If you could meet any athlete, who would it be and why?
I would say, I know I'm a football player, but I also play baseball too. I'd say Babe Ruth, like the King Crash himself. I don't think any of my friends would believe me that I met him, but I mean, that would be such a flex on my fellow baseball players. Just to be like, I met Babe Ruth and you didn't, so like.
What's your favorite thing about Babe Ruth?
I don't know if you've ever tried to swing a 36-inch wood bat, but it is kind of impossible. We had a guy who had that bat on our team, and we tried to swing it, and we barely could hit the ball with it, and much less hit it out of the park like he does. So it's just really impressive that what he could do and the strength that he had.
Yeah, good answer. The Big Bambino. So you were a solid player on defense last year. What's one area of your game you've worked on this offseason to become a more dominant player?
So, like, when I look back at my film, the biggest thing that jumps out to me is just my slow get-offs. It kind of, looking back at film, it makes me mad to see how slow I was. And so over this offseason, I've really pushed myself in doing a lot of more speed training and a lot more agility just to be able to get to the ball and where I need to be faster, as well as moves to help me get around guys and knock them off of their block.
Yeah. Cool. So how do you think playing football for East Central has equipped you for life after high school?
Just the overall examples that the coaches have set and taught us of how to be a good Christian man and how to do hard things and do it even when you don't want to do it and just push yourself to be better, as well as just follow the example of like Jesus and just learn how to teach others about God as well, and just taking care of your family. Just overall, just being a better person and man and a follower of Christ. I definitely will use, like, looking back at myself when I first started and looking at myself now, I've changed so much. And it's because of being on this team and the good Christian men who've poured into me.
And speaking of that, who has had the most impact on you as a player or person in your career?
There's a lot of coaches who have definitely impacted me, but I would say Michah has definitely, he's the person who got me on this team. He made a deal with me back when I first started. He said, I'll play baseball if you play football. And he did. He got out there and played baseball, so I had to keep my end of the bargain and come play football. But just like the overall way he just pushes us all and the way he leads and the way he exemplifies Christ, just I want to emulate that in just my everyday life and just the way he pushes.
Very cool story there. So tell us a funny story about playing for Coach Smith.
So Mikey didn't want me
Keep
to
it
tell
clean.
this one. So this is the worst play that Coach Smith has ever called. Last year we were in a game. We had just failed an offensive drive. We were knocked back about 5 yards, so we had about 15 yards to go. It's 4th down, so the obvious decision was to punt. We go out there to punt, and I'm on the offensive line, and so I get up there, and we get up to the line, we get set, and I'm like just having the usual offensive line thoughts, like I'm gonna get this guy, I'm gonna block him, I'm gonna not let this guy pass me. So we get ready, they snap the ball, I get my guy, I lock up with him, and I'm sitting there and I'm blocking him. I was like, yeah, I got him. And like a second goes by, and then 2, and 3. And I'm like, man, this punt is taking a long time to go. And then I'm still locked up with the guy at 4 or 5, and I was like, dang, it's really long time for him to take this punt. And then the guy just kind of stops. Like, the guy trying to get past me, he just stops and looks at me. And then I'm confused, so I turn around, and I see Michah trying to run up the field, trying to cut through all of the guys. And then he's just like, it's 15 yards. Like, what? And he gets taken down. And then all I hear is the announcer be like, that was a bad call by Coach Smith. I don't know. It was really funny to me because all the linemen kind of were like, we were all on our blocks really well, and we kind of looked at each other bug-eyed, just like, what is going on?
Making sure.
Coach Smith, you wanted to add something to that?
Well, the point, the great joke is I didn't make that call.
Sure you did.
Was this the Gatlinburg game? Harvest. Okay, yeah. Michael took offense to the guys not rushing. So yeah, the Gatlinburg guys were like, man, Coach Smith wasn't thinking clearly on that one. It's happened a couple of times. So yeah, no.
I guarantee that was Eli that made that call.
I think it was.
That was Eli.
So yeah,
that was Eli.
That
Well,
probably
that's a
wasn't the worst
good
call
story.
ever made, by the way, though.
Yep. So thank you, Cade. We wish you much success this season. Going to turn our attention to Michah now. So, Michah, first of all, I want to mention this is Micah's second time being here, correct? And also Jagger and Jedd Scott were here last year as well, so commend those guys for being thought of by their coaches to make it back twice. What's your favorite hobby outside of sports and why? We all know you're a great football player, but anything else? Oh, my bad. Hang on. Try again.
I really love playing my guitar, playing on the piano, just singing and worshiping. It's just there's nothing better that I can do with my time, and it's the peace that you get when you worship God. It's just I don't know if you can call it a hobby, but it's my favorite thing to do outside of football, for sure.
That's cool. So you were an all-conference player last year, Conference Christian Character Award winner, and Gatlinburg All-American. What do you feel like you have left to accomplish this year as an individual player?
Well, last year was good. It can always be better. So last year I had several drops, several missed tackles, just trying to eliminate the mistakes that I had, because I had good plays, and that's great and that's fine. But there are a couple really big plays that I let up that mattered a lot in the game. So just cutting those down as a player, and then definitely stepping up in leadership to lead the team, get more vocal, and yeah, just lead us towards what we hope to be a conference championship this year.
Cool. And how did coming so close to a championship last year motivate you physically and psychologically this offseason?
Honestly, that wasn't really at the forefront of my mind when training.
Okay.
It was more working towards what we could do this season. So the goal every single year is to win the conference championship. The fact that we didn't win it last year, I don't know if this is just me, but it didn't stick in my head maybe as much as you think it would. I don't know why. But yeah, I was just fighting for this year's team instead of last year's. I was just kind of forgetting that team.
Yeah.
And working towards what we can do this year.
Very good. And what is one area you feel like is most important for this team to improve to win a title this year?
Yeah, so last year we made it to the championship game. We had a lot of really, really, really good athletes, people who came from some high schools around that were used to a lot higher of a level of football than what we play. And so they played really well. But the problem was we were kind of sparse in some areas. So sometimes our blocking wasn't good, and sometimes we couldn't bring the ball in, or we didn't get the ball off on time. So this year we're just going to be a lot more consistent, just in every single area. Maybe not having the best athlete on the field just destroy everybody, but we'll have people who are at least above average that can lock it down and get 10, 12, 13 yards of carry. And so we're just working our way down the field and being above average.
Cool. And, you've got a lot of accolades. Do you have any plans after high school?
Yeah, for sure. The plan right now, God willing, is to go in college. I want to play football in college. Looking at some smaller schools right now, some D3, and then just go into the missions field, because that's something that I feel my heart pulled towards as God calls me to that. And so he'll just call me to the people, and I'll go and just see what happens next.
Excellent. Excellent. James?
Cade, with you guys having played in Florida last year, you win one, lose one, but it's the program's first time being down there, your first time being down there. What's one of your favorite takeaways from that event, from playing in that tournament?
It definitely was hard, especially going from one game to the next. Just the simple dehydration and not being able to pump liquids into your body enough. One takeaway is that we went down there and we really fought. We fought for every inch of that game, especially in that freedom game. That was hard. It just battle in the trenches, and we did end up losing in the end, but we walked away with our heads high in that game just because we knew we played as hard as we could. We were over there. We had guys on the sideline just sweating, steam coming off of them. They just, after that game, we went to sleep hard.
Y'all's area of the camp was the quietest, so I can attest to that. Now, you guys played in Gatlinburg and Florida last year. You kicked off the season and then wrapped it up. Compare those two experiences a little bit in terms of kicking off the season, going up to Gatlinburg, and then ending the season going to Florida. What's one difference that stuck out to you in terms of those two events?
I say before we went to Gatlinburg, we definitely were more separated as a team. We definitely started to come together as a family in Gatlinburg. We went up there and they had all kinds of stuff we stayed at, like play outside, and we just came together really as a team then. And by the end of the season, you could really tell a big difference from the beginning and the end because we became a family and were willing to do anything for each other in the end of the season. So the biggest difference is before we were just players on a team. In the end, we were family.
There you go. Micah, how many times have you been compared to Daniel Radcliffe or Harry Potter? Or, you know,
Harry
ask,
Potter,
ask
I
the,
get
the
Harry
look-alike.
Potter more than I'd care to admit.
Fair enough. There you go. There you go. Well, obviously, man, you're able to be a Gatlinburg All-American last year. What are some of the friendships you were able to make up there? Who were some of the guys you were able to be friends with? And then are you able to use those friendships as maybe a motivation of you see, you know, you got a buddy in North Carolina and you see what he's doing this off season, or you talk to him and you go, man, I could add that or I could do that. Has that been a part of it at all?
So I wouldn't say necessarily the training so much, but the relationships I've built up there, absolutely. 'Cause like when playing these games and you see people across the field, you kind of like dehumanize them. So all they are is like a 5'8", 160 guy that I have to get past. But then you play with them on the same team, and we're all so similar. We all have like the same interests for the most part. And so there were just some guys up there on Freedom and then Tennessee Heat that we all played in Panama. And it was just really cool to get to play with them as part of the same team and get to enjoy the same experience.
Good deal. Good deal.
All right, James, I'm gonna correct you on one thing.
Go for it.
We don't say Harry Potter. This is Clark Kent.
Clark Kent. There you go.
The cape comes out later.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
Well, appreciate it.
Yeah, great job, guys, and good luck on the field this season. And we will take a break and be right back and hear a word from our sponsors. You're watching the ACSC 2025 Football Media Day. At South Oak Title, we have extensive experience in residential real estate transactions, enabling us to serve our clients in all their closing needs. We understand that your closing isn't just a file, it's a promise. We create a better title and closing experience by using cutting-edge technology and top-notch customer service that we tailor to meet our clients' needs. Whether you have complicated title issues, need a little extra care, or have questions about title insurance, we're here to support you every step of the way so that you can close with confidence. All right, now we have Evangel Christian at the table. So, Coach Tim Smith, I will turn it over to you for a few comments.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Scott and them for doing this, and James from 8-Man Extreme, who drove down from Tennessee this morning, and Andrew's here from the Shelby County Reporter. We thank all y'all for coming out. This is a big deal for our kids and our programs. We're not always invited to all of the events, so I appreciate everybody that come out today and supported this program and this conference. Yeah, we're excited about this year, of course. We lost a few players last year, but we don't ever say we're rebuilding. We're just getting ready to play again. We got a lot of new kids that's got to step up and play this year. We didn't pick up very many kids from outside of our team. They're just growing up from our junior high. So a lot of those kids have got to step up. The fewest amount of seniors I've had since I've been here, I think we got 7 this year. Last year we had 17, which is great that year, but then the next year you pay the price a little bit. But I'm really excited about this group. I've told everybody they're really fun to coach. They have a great attitude. Most days they get after it pretty good, not so much yesterday for a little while, but we fixed that. And then we had a good day at the end. So we're excited. We're excited about our schedule this year. We're going back to Gatlinburg, playing Arendelle Parrott again from North Carolina. We've got River Oaks coming in from Monroe, Louisiana. They were undefeated, even though they had some losses. I don't want to go into all that, but they had to forfeit a few ball games.
Yeah.
We got state runner-up. We got a state champion on our schedule. We're going back to Panama City this year, so we're going to start in Gatlinburg and end in Panama City. It should be a good season.
Very good. Well, as you said, this is a new season. For the second year in a row, you've lost double-digit seniors, but the numbers weren't replenished this time. When is the last time you had to coach a roster in the mid-20s in terms of numbers?
My first year here.
Okay.
Since then, it's kind of caught up with us. The last 3 years, we graduated 16, 16, and 17, and we lost 23 players off of last year's team. So this is, even though, like I said, we only picked up 1 or 2 kids that wasn't on the team last year, they're all our junior high, and they're just growing up. It's their turn, and it's going to be a different year for us.
Yep, like Essential, you said you're going back to Gatlinburg for the first game of the season to face Arundel Parrott. Just talk a little bit about the challenge your team faces in game 1.
Yeah, they lost that 2,000-yard rusher they had last year, who was pretty good, by the way. Yeah. But they've got their quarterback back, a little lefty who spins it really well. They're well coached. Coach Matt Beeman does a really good job up there with them. I wasn't going back this year, I'll be honest. And then I couldn't get enough football games, and Coach Beeman called me, and his exact words were, "Let's run it back." And I said, well, okay, let's do it. So here we are. We're going back to Gatlinburg.
And after you mentioned losing so many seniors, there's probably some concern all around, but what is the biggest area of concern for you coming into this year?
Yeah, we lost a lot of kids. A lot of good leaders on that team, a lot of good athletes. And one of the other biggest losses, and I believe they will tell you, is we lost Coach Hagan. His family grew a little bit by 1. His job changed a little bit, so he couldn't really do it this year. He backed out. So the biggest challenge is I haven't called plays in 10 years, and I'm back to running the offense, calling plays, getting the script ready, doing all that. So it's put a little pressure on me. A little nervous, to be honest.
Sure.
So that's probably the biggest change. And then these guys will tell you that, we get after it pretty decent at practice most days. And when you've got 40 and then all of a sudden you're down to 26, you have to adjust as a coach because their rotation comes up a lot quicker.
Right.
They're getting hit a lot more. So we've had to kind of adjust to that a little bit.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, it's the first time since you've been at Evangel that you haven't had Hagan Joyner calling plays. What will the offense look like with you as the OC this year?
Yeah, we're going to be in the double wing every play. No, that's what everybody thinks. It's really the same offense that we ran at Cornerstone when Hagan played. We did run a lot more double wing then, but it'll be pretty much the same offense. Of course, I got my stuff that I like to run a little bit more than he did, but it'll look the same.
Okay. And so what does Tim Smith like to do in his spare time when he's not coaching?
Sit in his recliner with his little dog in his lap, Miss Angie in the other chair, watch TV. No, we do that a lot, but when we get to. We like to travel a little bit. We got 5 grandchildren. I like to spend time with them. Got 2 that have started football this year. One's at the middle school in Columbiana, and he'll be playing on Thursday nights. And then I got one that's playing flag football. He'll be playing on Saturdays here in Alabaster. So,
oh boy,
yeah. And I got a granddaughter that she races. She barrel races.
Yeah,
all over. So when Coach Mike Long was talking about that, we've already looked into that, going to the new school, Sunshine, and she may run down there. So excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to save some time here for James and Andrew Simonson from the Shelby County Reporter. James?
Coach, when he asked what one of your favorite things to do off the field was, I thought you were going to clean baseboards and door frames. But
I do that as well, yeah.
Hey, I don't want to focus on the number, but the number is 39-0. That's the streak right now. It's like Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's the streak, right? With that, and I don't want to focus on the number, but that does bring a target, and that means every single week, even if it continues, especially if it continues to grow, every single week the target gets bigger on your back. And when somebody comes to play, you guys are that team that when someone has you on the schedule, they circle that game and they go, even if you lose, they circle that game. Have you been able to communicate that to the guys that, hey, every single week there's no room for not mistakes, but for slacking off. There's no room for slacking off and not missing an assignment. Have you been able to communicate that to them a little bit?
We do talk about it a little bit. I think Coach Hagan, he always said it best. No matter who we play, where we play, it's their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's the way. Look, we don't take anybody lightly.
Right.
It's our Super Bowl every Friday night too. I mean, we don't focus on the number. We don't talk
Right.
about it a whole
Right.
lot. In fact, we talked about it the other day for the first time. We just want to be 1-0 after the first game.
Okay. I'll ask you, I've asked a couple other coaches off the field, who's been your biggest influence in your coaching career?
Yeah, I think Scott asked me this last year. It goes back to my high school coach. I was kind of like what Hunter said with the Ezekiel kids. I had 3 coaches in 4 years at Shelby County High School, and it was tough. And then Coach Seal moved in, and he was different. He cared about us. Probably the first coach that ever told us he loved us, you know. The rest of them, they didn't use those words. They used some more. And so it kind of changed my direction a little bit, how I thought about things. And, of course, Angie has allowed me, she has always been a great supporter. And she has allowed me to do, because it is tough on coaches' wives. I've done this now. I think this is year number 29 in varsity sports. And you've got to have that spouse that'll have your back, and she does. And so, yeah, she fits that category too.
There you go.
I hit that layup, didn't I?
Yeah, you got it. You nailed that one. One more real quick. So you guys' schedule, you talked about playing River Oaks. You're playing the Chattanooga Patriots. You're playing Arundel Parrott, Freedom Cowboys, a bunch of different teams. You guys have a very diverse schedule. But, and I ask you this every time we talk, I want to give you a chance to shoot your shot. Is there anybody you want to play? Is there anybody when you look out there you go, I want to get them on the schedule and I want to play them?
I'll just answer it like I always do. I would love to play the best team in the state of Alabama outside of the ACSC conference, whoever that may be.
Winning streak and all. There you go.
All right.
I'm good.
All right, Coach. First of all, thank you for having me out today. With this team overall, a little bit of a new makeup, especially with the Lawson seniors. With that now, what do you think are going to be some of the strengths of this team this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest strength right now is how close they are, to be honest. I think our running game will be pretty good. Of course, I got Eli sitting beside me. He's taking over at quarterback, and, he's going to have some growing pains a little bit. He may throw a pick here or there. He may overthrow somebody, and he'll grow into that spot. But I think our strongest suit right now, if I said it, is probably our running game. Up front, we're getting better every day. So I think that'll help. We got a new running back, Isaac Griffith. It's his first year. He's just a sophomore. We think he's got a chance to be really special one day. He's one of those. He's got to grow up too. We're throwing him in the fire.
Awesome. And with all these guys, what continues to give you such confidence that once you get these guys into the system, they'll flourish and just become just another one of the great players that you guys have had over the years?
Well, our saying this year is we are Evangel, and I did that for nobody else but us, because I needed to remind them where they're playing, who they're playing for, who they're representing, not just themselves, not just their teammates, not just Evangel, but that we want to represent a higher entity. We want to make sure that everything we do, we're representing in a Christ-like manner. And look, I know we get sometimes where, people say, man, they play dirty. They do this, they do that. We don't teach it. We don't coach it. Does it happen sometimes? Sure it does. They're kids. But most of all, our kids, overall, they want to represent Christ in a Christ-like manner.
Awesome. And then last one for me before I turn it back to you. With this schedule, you guys play a lot of really good teams very quickly, especially with both Arundel Parrott and River Oaks. What are the things that you're looking for in non-conference play to make you feel good going into both conference play and nationals?
Yeah, not being 0-4 when we get there. The start of our schedule is tough. I mean, Arundel, they're really good. the team out of Chattanooga, I really don't know a lot about them. They called me and wanted to play, and I hooked them as fast as I could. And then, you know, you got River Oaks coming in. They were undefeated. They had a kid that signed with Ole Miss last year. And then you got the Freedom Cowboys. And then if you go to the next week, I think we got Ezekiel. So it never gets easier. And it goes back to that question about, you know, everybody has a circle on their schedule, and I understand that. And I take pride in it and want that. You know, we enjoy that challenge every Friday night.
Awesome. Turn it back.
All right, thank you, Andrew Simonson from Shelby County Reporter. Now we're going to ask the players some questions, and I apologize. I had Eli as a senior on there on the screen for a little bit there. Trying to rush him out of here. No, so Eli, little question for you. If you could have dinner with any famous person, who would it be and why? Hang on. Start over. My bad.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start by saying just Josh Allen. He's just my favorite NFL player. I love the way he plays, the flair that he brings, just the way he can make a bad play a good play. So,
yeah, that's a good one. And what do you think will be the biggest obstacle for Evangel repeating as conference champions this year?
Yeah, so like Coach Smith said, we lost a lot of great players like Nick Loud and Will Welch and those type of players. But, you know, just filling in those shoes, just stepping up, making sure that we're playing it at the best of our abilities.
And so having to replace so many seniors, have you felt any pressure to kind of assert yourself as a leader this season? And if so, how have you managed that?
Yes, sir. There definitely is a little bit of pressure when it comes to, you know, I'm supposed to be starting quarterback this year, so just a little bit of pressure with, you know, making sure it's I'm running the offense the way it needs to be run, but also just with managing it, I just make sure that you know, if the defense doesn't run something right or the offense is not running, if the guard doesn't pull something like that, I'm making sure that everybody's on the same page. We're playing as a team and not just crazy 8 individuals on the field. So.
Yeah. And you're the third son of Marty Black and the Black family to play football at Evangel. What is unique about Eli's game from your older brothers?
Yes, sir. I'd just say it's a little bit difficult sometimes because we all kind of play different positions, except for me and Hayden. We both play linebacker. But just with uniqueness, I'd say I'm a little bit more vocal, I'd say, than both of them. And in practice and pregame, I'm making sure everybody's, you know, energy's up and effort's up, you know, making sure everybody's working hard. So.
And you're the first one to play quarterback.
Yes, sir. That's true.
So beyond the scoreboard, what do you hope to take away from your time in the Evangel program?
Yes, sir. So a common theme that's always been Evangel is just family. So we've always had, you know, I'll also just say like a brotherhood. I play football and basketball, and every team I've ever been on at Evangel, it's just been such a strong love for each other. Nobody's really had a problem with each other. Of course, you know, when you're butting heads at practice, you're
Sure.
going to argue. But at the end of the day, you're still going to love each other, and it's still going to be a strong brotherhood. So.
Yeah, absolutely. James, you want to ask Eli some questions?
Eli, this run that you guys have been on of at least one championship of some kind every year, you've had Tyler Henderson, Eli Whitfield, Kemp Swords. Have you been able to talk to those guys as the successor at quarterback? Have you been able to talk to them, or what is something maybe when you look at how they played that you've been able to implement in your game?
Yeah, so all those guys, you know, Tyler and Kemp, they both could run the ball well. So, you know, I'm making sure that, like, if they're running the ball, I'm running the ball. You know, I'm making sure that I'm a dual threat. You know, I'm just making sure I run the offense the best that I can in that way.
He didn't mention Eli Whitfield.
I was about to say, nothing from Eli.
Eli, too. Eli can run the ball, too. But
no, he couldn't.
He was a little scared, but it's okay. Sorry, Eli.
Did anything special go into picking your number, or is it just kind of random?
Well, growing up, in JV, I was always 13, but I got to varsity, and Coach Smith kind of just gave me this number, and it stuck. I like it, so
fair enough.
We'll keep it that way.
Fair enough. I'm good.
Eli, with you stepping in at quarterback, obviously come from a great lineage in your family, great lineage at quarterback as well, within the success in going from Eli Whitfield now to Kemp and now to you. But having your background as linebacker, that's always kind of been considered the quarterback position of the defense. So how has your experience there kind of informed your transition now to the starting quarterback? And how has it helped you in that role acclimating?
Yeah, so that's a good point with, just being a leader of both offense and defense, kind of just making sure that I'm loud, being loud, being a leader on both sides of the ball it's helped a lot starting there on defense last year and, translating that to offense. So I'd say it's really helpful with that.
Awesome. And just kind of overall, who's somebody you've kind of modeled your game after as a pro?
Man, I don't know. I guess I'm drawn to a lot of the quarterbacks, and I like Micah Parsons a lot. He's in the NFL. He's a great player, great linebacker. Josh Allen again. I love the way he plays the game. So I just say both of them.
Awesome. All right, Wyatt, now we'll move over to you. Leading up front in the trenches, you've kind of been there for a little bit, but now it's your time as leader. What has it been like just becoming one of the senior leaders of this team, and how has that experience kind of helped inform your role now going into the season?
On the line I've been playing with for a long time, so it's easy to get along with them, easy to help each other just get better and get the plays done and keeping each other accountable.
Mm-hmm. And obviously Coach Smith said with Isaac coming in at the running back position, you guys have been working to make that a little bit of a priority. So how have you, Isaac, and even Eli as a dual threat quarterback been kind of working over the offseason to shore up some of the stuff that within the run game and make sure that you guys are can have that in addition to your pass game this year?
Just trying to get on the same page and create chemistry. Just knowing if I'm pulling, just take your time on the cuts and everything, and just know all the plays and what everybody's doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Wyatt.
Wyatt, is there a player, either a player or a offensive or defensive line that you're looking forward to going up against this year that maybe gave you a little bit of a challenge last year in terms of, making you raise your game?
I mean, there's no one that is in particular, but I mean, every single game there's always it's always a challenge, and I always love going against all the different guys.
Coach mentioned you guys are going to close the season out in Florida, and obviously you guys didn't do that last year. What's something you're excited about in terms of closing out the season in Florida?
I'm just excited to play on that stage and play just in Florida with all of my guys, and it's going to be a great time.
There you go. I'm good, Scott.
Thank you, James and Andrew. So, Wyatt, music question for you. What's your favorite type of music and why?
I'd say I like country music, mainly because that's just what I grew up listening to, and so I'm surrounded by.
You have a favorite artist in the country genre?
I like Eric Church.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
guy.
one. And Hagan Joyner left the program, as we mentioned, this year to focus on his family responsibilities and stuff. Compare and contrast Coach Smith's offensive coaching style to Coach Hagan's.
Like Coach Smith said earlier, it's a lot of the same offense. Run a lot of the same plays, but overall, I'd say Coach Smith is a little bit more simple. Maybe not as flashy as Coach Hagan, but definitely get the job done.
Coach Hagan or Coach Smith wear better shoes?
I like his shoes today, but Coach Hagan never disappoints.
You mentioned flashy. That's why I thought about that.
Yeah.
So what have you
got 500 pair?
Yeah, that too.
New pair for every
I think
day
I
of
asked
practice.
him in Gallenberg or something last year who had more shoes, him or his wife. So, Wyatt, what have you worked on this off season to prepare you for more of a leadership role this season?
I prefer to lead by example. I mean, I get vocal at times, but I'm more of a show what to do and just get in the mental state to where I can help everybody on the line, help everybody know what they're doing, and just be able to execute at a high level.
You feel like that's made an impact on the maybe the younger guys on the line and so forth,
yes,
or
sir.
the offense?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. And you're also the younger sibling of an Evangel football alum, Zach Chandler. What did you learn from Zach that has really stood out and helped you be a better football player and teammate?
Yeah, I know he's probably watching, so I'm not gonna gas him up that much. But he's just a perfectionist. He has to get every little detail right. Whether we're at home or working out or on the field, you just got to get every little detail right, and that really helps me to just get every little detail right in football, and to just be able to execute and just win games.
Yeah. Good deal. So, in summary, how has Evangel football prepared you for life after high school?
I mean, with football, you get all the trials and all the and coach just pushing you all the time, and but most of all, it's him just helping us with our walk with Christ, and the brotherhood that we've made here is just unbelievable. I love all the guys here, and it's just a special place.
Very good. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it, and we're going to let y'all exit the table. We're going to take a quick break for another word from our sponsors, and then we will be back with some closing remarks. Great job, guys. Good luck this season. At South Oak Title, we have extensive experience in residential real estate transactions, enabling us to serve our clients in all their closing needs. We understand that your closing isn't just a file, it's a promise. We create a better title and closing experience by using cutting-edge technology and top-notch customer service that we tailor to meet our clients' needs. Whether you have complicated title issues, need a little extra care, or have questions about title insurance, we're here to support you every step of the way so that you can close with confidence. To wrap on the 2025 ACSC Football Media Day, we appreciate all the coaches and players coming out and sharing a little bit about their season, about how they've grown in their relationship with the Lord over the last few years of playing at their respective schools. As you can tell, we've got a lot of great coaches, a lot of great character in this conference. Really excited to watch them compete this year. And again, as Mike Long said earlier, the program or the conference seems to just be going in the right direction, and really excited to see what the future has to hold. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and that's a wrap. Thank you.